My name is Caroline Blair Anderson. I am a UNCG athletics alumni. I played women's basketball here a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago. And I am so happy to be here with you today. I'm the current morning news anchor at Spectrum News 1 here in the Triad across the state. And I feel so blessed to be here for what is a pretty incredible day. I think we can all agree. We are inducting today 4 student athletes and 2 teams. This is like a family reunion when I look around here. I think a lot of us can agree on that. Folks say that they haven't seen each other in years, and this is the perfect way to celebrate. Spartan legends are coming alive as we relive magical moments and amazing accomplishments from this very special group. Now, before we start this year's ceremony officially, I would like to recognize all of the former UNCG Athletics Hall of Famers who are here with us today. At this time, please, we would love to ask all of you to stand so we can recognize you. These individuals represent the very best of our history. They are true Spartans. Now, before we start the induction of this latest group, I'm going to have UNCG's third full-time director of athletics, Brian Mackin, come up and say a few words. Please help me welcome Brian to the stage.
I'll be brief because we want to get on with the show, but I've been here almost 2 years now, and when you said family, I feel a part of this. I feel very much a part of this family at UNCG, and there's 2 or 3 people I want to introduce because they're the history. One, not so long ago, but I want to make sure that everybody realizes we have a former student athlete, graduate, as the chairman of our board of trustees, George Hoyle. George, that's pretty incredible. Kathy Roberts, always. She ran things. Nelson thought he did, but she actually ran the show, and I call him number 1, and he calls me 3, but Nelson Bob. Now, I met a lot of people last night. Was fantastic. This induction will be fantastic. You'll have some tears. You'll have some laughs. It's going to be fun, so let's get started.
Thank you so much, Brian. I do want to say briefly, speaking as a former student athlete, what you've been able to accomplish here in such a short amount of time is pretty incredible. We are happy to have you here with us. You're doing a fabulous job, and you truly are a part of the family now, so thank you. All right, now's the time we have all been waiting for. Let's induct the next class into the UNCG Athletics Hall of Fame. Brian is going to stay here with me on stage, and he's going to present the inductees their Hall of Fame plaque. So we're going to induct the individuals first, and then we're going to move on to the 2 teams. So please welcome to the stage inductee Shannon Donovan, along with her presenter, UNCG Athletic Hall of Famer, former men's soccer player and women's soccer coach, Eddie Radwanski.
I'm not that tall. Good morning to everybody. First off, just want to say it has just been phenomenal to come back home and to see so many wonderful faces, all the great people that have made UNCG such a life-changing adventure and moment for all of us, whether we're a student athlete or a faculty or a staff. Everyone's sitting there wondering, like, how long is Eddie going to talk? And I'm not going to go that long. It ain't going to be 3 minutes, though, I can tell you that. But I just wanted to start off, and my daughter Logan, I said, Logan, when I start talking about Shannon, hit the clock, and then give me the signal. There you are, okay. But before I get started, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge some things. Like, first off, the 1996 and 1997 teams, congratulations on your inductions. I had the unique pleasure of watching you all play. It was awesome. And you guys are still in the record books for scoring and goals and assists, and it was absolutely ridiculous how great you guys were. And Jack and Diane and Chris and all the staff had done just such a phenomenal job building that teams. I also wanted to take a moment to acknowledge, Joy, Heather, and Lynsey congratulations on your induction for being here. It's certainly well-deserving. And I did want to make a comment about, we're all proud about our women's program and how it's developed and become and the program that it's been established. That doesn't happen without Jack Poland, the assistants, the girls from the 1990s, the program and standards that you guys had set. It prepared the stage for the next coach, who happened to be myself, to take the baton and go get it. And trust me, we would not have been successful in recruiting and winning big games if it wouldn't been for the establishment that Jack and his teams had set the stage of in the 1990s. So I just wanted to, Jack, congratulations. And before I get going on Shannon, just wanted to make I always call it the UNCG Mount Rushmore. There's just some people I think that just need to be acknowledged, because I don't think none of us would be here if it were not for them. Chancellor Bill Moran, who was just the visionary person back in the late 70s, early 1980s, that put a mission and a statement out there like, UNCG is going to be a soccer school. We are going to invest in this. We're going to make this who we are. It's going to be part of our brand. And the things that have happened, if you go back and through the soccer history, have just been absolutely mind-blowing. So, but Chancellor Moran, Chancellor Pat Sullivan, who took the next baton and kept it going for us, her leadership and guidance was crucial at critical moments. Obviously, Nelson Bob, the program wouldn't be anywhere without Nelson. And then Kathy Roberts. Raise your hand if you've been yelled at by Kathy Roberts. Raise your hand if Kathy Roberts has been angry with you. Raise your hand if you love Kathy Roberts. Yeah. And Kathy epitomizes why we're all here. And I know she's kicked my butt a few times and straightened me out, and I certainly appreciated all that. Brian, thank you to you and your staff. Mike Roach, Spartan Club, for putting this all together. Absolutely love being here. It's always first class. All right, Shannon, here we go. So when I was talking with Shannon a couple weeks ago about this moment, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to talk about? What should we talk? How do we do this? But Shannon just kept coming back to a few simple things that were important to her. It was family, relationships, friendships, memories. And I was like, okay, I love that. And family is the most important thing to Shannon. I have had the unique pleasure, and it's been fun for me ever since, God, Glenn, when did we start all this? 99, 2000, something? Yeah, it was crazy. So Shannon's mother and father are here, Glenn and Sue. Her sisters, Jen and Caitlin, who's one of our former players, were constantly in support. Her husband, Guy, who obviously was an outstanding baseball player here at UNCG, and her two lovely children, Donovan and Braden, are here. Wave to everybody, boys. Yeah, there you go. Couldn't get any cuter. So when I started recruiting Shannon, she played for this incredible club team called HBC Fury out of Long Island. Big Bird would remember this. Like, they were one of the top clubs in the country, and you're like, oh, man, if I can just get a player here. And I would show up watching this team play, and every day walk away going, this team had 8 youth national team players on it. It was phenomenal. And every time I keep walking away, I kept telling, Glenn kept calling himself the assistant coach. He was the dad that just happened to be there. But he was there, always supporting, encouraging the kids, being there. And I was always in his ear like, hey, when are we going to get down for a visit? When are we going to get down for a visit? We got to get Shannon to come down. We got to get Shannon. And Shannon was like so elusive because she was, honestly, I just think a little scared, a little shy. She's a little introverted, like, okay. Well, to speed it up, we didn't get her to commit until May of her senior year. Yes, May of her senior year. The story was, I don't know if it was after Jefferson Cup or one of these cups late in the spring, I said to Glenn, I go, if you don't give me that damn transcript that I can look at to give into our admissions people, I'm done. And then 2 days later, I got it. Okay, got her admitted, and then everything just went in from there. I knew when we got a commitment from Shannon Donovan, like, oh, this quiet, introverted little kid is one of the most talented players in the country. I couldn't have been more excited for it. When getting a player like that, it's amazing how, I kind of thought like this could be one of the best players in the program history. And it turned out that she's been in there. Not only was Shannon has become a Hall of Fame player, she was a Hall of Fame person and leader. You know how sometimes when you're on a team and it could be a little awkward when you're the best player? Maybe other players aren't up to the right standard or just not having a good day. Well, Shannon was our best player, but Shannon never carried herself like that. She never walked around like, oh, my stuff doesn't stink, yada, yada, yada. And I think that's why everybody loved her. She led by love, compassion. She loved the game. She wanted to be there for her teammates when they needed her. Not only did she earn the respect of her teammates, but she earned their love. And as we move along in college, a lot of great life lessons moments present themselves. By any chance, Meredith isn't here. Is Meredith here, Carla? Is she good? Oh, I was going to say Meredith is part of these stories. So one of my funny stories that I remember about Shannon and her partner in crime, Meredith, is one time they come running into my office like, Eddie, Cordy's purse and computer and stuff got stolen and backpack. It was in the car. I was devastated as a coach. I'm like, come on, these poor kids. This happened. Wow, I'm so sorry. You guys okay? Anybody injured? No, we're okay. Well, what happened? Did they break the window? Did they unlock the car? And there's like this 8-second pause. And one of them goes, well, the doors were open. Well, wait. You left the doors open? Yeah. Oh, well, no wonder they walked in and grabbed your backpack and walked down Walker Avenue with these computers and wallets and so forth. I'm like, yeah, that was the world I was living in with them. I was like, really? Like, we having these type of moments? And on the journey, as we all do as student athletes, there's always that light bulb moment that goes off. And as a women's soccer coach, I'll be honest, I always kind of, I even do it today now at Clemson. I'm like, when players are, I got a boyfriend, I got a relationship. And I'm like, oh, God, it's going to get in the way. What's going on? Can you just focus on soccer? But I tell you what, Siri comes into the office and goes, Shannon's got a boyfriend. Oh, really? Well, what's the guy's name? Well, it's a great guy. He's a good guy. He's like, well, what's the guy's name? Guy is a good guy. Like, what's the guy's name? It's Guy. It's a good guy. Oh, it's Guy. Finally put it all together. Guy, I got to personally thank you because when you came into Shannon's life, that relationship, it just changed Shannon as a person. She was already an extremely talented soccer player, but you brought balance and maturity and growth into her world, and it was amazing. She actually became even a better player. And so I wanted to personally thank you for showing up at the right time. It was great to have you there. To give you an example of what Shannon's leadership was like as a player, this kind of sums it up. In 2006, we had been pretty successful. We started the season 1-7-1. Yeah, we were 1-7-1. Actually, one of our great results was we lost to North Carolina 1-0, a goal in the 72nd minute. Carla, you remember it. We were in this game, right? And the kids played great. But Nelson remembers this. We were banged up, injured. But we get to the beginning of the conference stage, and Shannon was just one of those people that showed up and like, we just have to play. We just have to be ourselves. We didn't panic. We talked about our season isn't over with. Before anybody defines who we are, let's finish the season first. So what did they proceed to do? They went the next 14 games unbeaten. Won the regular season conference, won the tournament championship, advanced into the NCAAs. And I was stunned as a coach to go, that was just phenomenal. On this journey, not only did we get into Shannon was named the SoCon Player of the Year that year, but she was also the tournament MVP. And most of us that have been here, we've had a lot of interesting games with our friends down the road called Furman, who we met in the final that year. And in that championship game, Shannon stepped up, knocked in 2 goals, game-winning assist, and we won the title 3-1. That was the type of player that Shannon was. That was the type of person. She wasn't using her voice a lot. She led by actions, and her leadership resonated throughout our team. You know, a funny story I want to share with you, because actually we won that championship at Western Carolina. That was pretty good. Most of you would remember playing at Western Carolina. That field, before they got their new field that they have now, was probably the worst in the league. So we get a free kick, and it's right at midfield, and it's a short field, but it's got to be a good 50 yards away, and it's almost right in front of me, and I'm sitting on the bench, and Shannon's standing there looking over the ball, and I go, I bet you $10 you can't hit the crossbar. And she stands there, so I'm there, and she kind of looks at me like, oh, you're daring me? And she takes two steps, and then runs up and smashes it. She freaking hit the crossbar. and we're sitting there on the bench, and I turn and look at the team. I go, I should have told her to score. She had the innate ability to do that. But Shannon, I got to thank you for, one, accepting our invitation to come be a part of the UNCG family. Also wanted to thank you because you helped me to become a better coach, a better person, a better husband, a better father. I can't thank you enough for those. The stories that I use, you know, everyone who's kind of snuck into my office down at Clemson has seen it. There's a picture of Shannon that's on my desk because I made a promise to her. You know, we were going through this. Shannon was like, I can't do it, Eddie. I can't do it. It's too hard. I can't do it. I'm not smart enough. I'm like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. You can do it. You can do it. It's like, if you do this, I'll be at your graduation. I'll go to your wedding. I'll have your picture on my desk through my whole coaching career. Her picture is on my desk 20 plus years later. So as we wrap it up here, from a soccer perspective, to present Shannon for the induction into the Hall of Fame class, you're looking at a player and a person who won 4 Southern Conference championships, made 3 NCAA tournament appearances, including our second round advancement when we beat Wake Forest in the 2003 tournament. She was the 2003 SoCon Freshman Player of the Year. She was a 3-time All-SoCon selection, a 2-time All-Region selection. She was the 2006 Southern Conference Player of the Year and the Tournament Player of the Year. She was also named to the 100th anniversary All-Southern Conference team. And, Big Bird, you appreciate this. So Shannon, who played primarily in the back until I moved her to the center mid in her senior year, still has 22 career assists, which ranks 9th all time. How good coaching on my part, right? How many more assists she would have if I played her higher? But Shannon, it's my honor to present Shannon Donovan Welsh to the 2003 UNCG Athletics Hall of Fame.
I'd like to say a few words, but like Eddie said, I'm still the scared, introverted person today, so bear with me. This truly is such an amazing honor. Thank you all. I'd like to thank my mom and dad, again, like Eddie said. They did not miss a game. They drove 11 hours through the night to get to every game, right? I don't think they missed one. Nope. So thank you for that. To my sisters, my first teammates, who really taught me the meaning of being competitive and supportive to one another, thank you. To Eddie, who took a chance on me, because we all know that was a risk, and wanted me on his team. To my teammates, who turned into family, my UNCG fam. To the staff and directors who kept me on my path, which we know I veered sometimes, but here we are. I feel so honored to be a part of the UNCG family. I would not be here with any of you, and I certainly would not have met my husband, Guy, and have Donovan and Braden. Thank you all. What an honor.
Now please welcome to the stage inductee Heather Duryea and her presenter, her husband, UNCG alum David White.
Hello. Unlike Eddie, I'm an English teacher, and I wrote this and rewrote it, and I may end up reading a little bit of it, so you'll have to forgive me for not speaking more spontaneously, but we're so honored to be here. Thank you. There are moments in sports where something special happens and changes the course of play. And for those who love the game, those moments are what athletes live for. My wife, Heather Duryea, is one of those players who lives for those moments, and she found many of these athletic highlights here at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. She played one game that stood out amongst the rest was when UNCG played number 1 nationally ranked Barry University. We beat them 3-0. While Heather hates it when I recount this event, and for those of you who know her, you know how humble she is and how she values team play over individual play. But the truth is, on that day, she had a moment in the zone. She scored all 3 goals in less than 3 minutes. As a result, UNCG was then ranked number 1 in the country. Today, we will recognize the bright talent she was and still is. Heather is a player who exemplifies leadership by example and always plays with the love for the game. In the crawl space in our attic in Crested Butte, Colorado, are hidden old brown boxes filled with trophies, newspaper clippings, and certificates that Heather's parents saved. When the phone rang this summer and I heard the announcement that she was going to be honored today, it was time to dig up the archives and share some of Heather's past glory with our daughters, Emma and Jessie. They're sitting right here. They had no idea that their mother was the first 2-time academic All-American in UNCG history. They didn't know that she was co-captain of her team or that their mother played a key role in moving a Division II team to a Division I in a short span of time. They didn't know the names or stories of the people who Heather cared so deeply for during those years, and that she once had a life immersed in soccer long before anyone called her mommy. This experience today has allowed our family to tell those stories, meet those fellow players and coaches who helped carve Heather into the amazing wife, mother, and teacher she is today. Please join us and acknowledge that Heather is a person who always plays and lives with a love for the game. Since UNCG, Heather has utilized the skills and leadership she learned at this school to accomplish so many other important wins in her life. Playing soccer set the stage for a lifetime of play and work. She went on to get a master's degree in special education with an emphasis in deaf and hard of hearing, and taught at the New Mexico School for the Deaf, and consulted for our current school district. She became a high school science teacher at NMSD for the deaf with an all-deaf student body. She coached basketball, soccer, and softball. She holds more competitive league softball trophies in Crested Butte than any other player in town. She continues to play club soccer until our daughters were toddlers. She spent decades rock climbing, ice climbing, mountain biking, skiing, snowboarding, Nordic skiing, and many other outdoor activities. Most recently, Heather obtained training to help children with dyslexia as a specialized tutor. She was passionate about starting a reading program in our school for children with dyslexia. She researched programs, visited schools, collaborated with administrators, and ultimately started a program to help kids learn to read and overcome their challenges. The program is now considered to be a leader and model for addressing dyslexia in the state of Colorado. Being a Spartan created a foundation and developed a pattern of how to be a good sport, a fierce competitor, a valued teammate, and most importantly, fostered a lifelong love for the game. It's funny living with an introvert who happens to be a renowned athlete, because as much as Heather shined as a Spartan soccer player, I have watched her play sports for nearly 35 years. I've seen her fly through the air making a winning play at third, watched her sail off cliffs on her skis, watched her summit desert spires hundreds of feet off the dirt, watched her shoulder to shoulder with so many teammates on so many teams that it was not surprising that she would be honored in this way today. What was also not surprising is that she didn't feel comfortable being recognized. That's simply not her thing. She never enjoyed being recognized for her accomplishments, which makes today all the more special. At the end of her 4 years as a soccer player at UNCG, she had played every position but one. Her teammates excitedly asked Coach Poland to put her in as goalie. He did, and she played every position. Heather is modest about her achievements, and I will always admire that trait in her. She is the player who feels comfortable on the field, in the moment, with all the pressure on her for a single play that changes the course of the game. And like I said before, she revels in these moments because she is the player who always, truly, and forever has a deep passion for a love of the game. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my best friend, wife, mother of my children, and one of this year's inductees to the UNCG Greensboro's Hall of Fame, Heather Duryea. Thank you.
Thank you, David, and thank you for always being one of our team's biggest fans. Being inducted into UNCG's Hall of Fame is a huge, unexpected honor that I'm not sure I'm worthy of, but I'm extremely grateful for nonetheless. When I was about 9 years old, I distinctly remember sitting on a curb after soccer practice and deciding I'm going to play soccer in college. And I knew deep down that it would become a reality. I made a conscious decision to make this a goal of mine. It was 1979, and I had no idea that NCAA women's sports, let alone women's soccer, didn't even exist yet. The thought never occurred to me. I mean, why would it not exist? A few years later, I was a freshman in high school, and I learned that my high school didn't have a girls' team. Again, the thought of soccer not being a girls' sport never entered my mind. I mean, why wouldn't it exist? So as a freshman, I played on the boys' JV team and played in a few varsity games, but it wasn't as fun as playing with girls and my friends. Throughout my freshman year, my parents, myself, other parents and players lobbied to get a girls' team. We found a coach, garnered player interest, attended school board meetings, made bumper stickers, and had a successful campaign. A girls' team was created the very next year. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for helping me get to UNCG and being here tonight. When I started looking at colleges as a 17-year-old, a lot had changed in the short 8 years since sitting on that curb. There were now teams to play on. There were options. That guy, Jack Poland, that's what I called him, the guy from North Carolina, called and visited, and he invited me to UNCG on a recruiting trip on the heels of UNCG's men's national championship. I liked him, and he seemed genuinely interested in character development as much as, or even more so, than solely developing the soccer player. I chose UNCG because of Jack, the soccer community, and of course, the amazing field. I liked the idea of being a part of a university's first women's team. Starting something new was familiar territory, and I liked that challenge. I liked the challenge of having a team of freshmen grow a program. I think we were ranked 8th in the nation in a national poll before we ever played a game. Part of that ranking was because of the success of the men's program, of which Jack was a coach. Part of it was because of UNCG's commitment to soccer, and part of it was the support of the greater Greensboro soccer community, and a large part of it was because of my stellar teammates that Jack recruited. There is a community here that made our team and the program successful. Thank you to our chancellor at the time, William Moran, and Vice Chancellor James Allen, who were regular fans at our games and who continued to support me even after graduation with advice and letters of recommendation. Thank you to Nelson Bob, our athletic director, and Ty Buckner, our sports information director, who both administered and guided UNCG's advancement to Division I. Both men believed in women's soccer and did everything in their power to make it a successful program. We had compassionate professional trainers led by MJ Campbell. We had facilities, fields, and equipment that were second to none, thanks to Kathy Roberts. There were so many people behind the scenes to whom I owe a lot of gratitude. I am aware of the army it took to usher in a new program and ensure that it grew and flourished. I had the most amazing role models as assistant coaches. Marcia McDermott led with a quiet intensity that resonated with me and brought out the best in me. It was heartbreaking to see her leave and accept a head coaching job at Maryland. Lori Henry was brought in and coached with a loud intensity that scared the bejesus out of most of us at first, but we quickly discovered underneath her formidable exterior was a really playful jokester. I remember Lori telling us, I don't know if you remember this, guys, telling us she was going to be leaving to go to China to play on the national team, and it was 1991, and we were clueless. We said, okay, Lori, go have fun, see you when you get back. She was playing in the women's first World Cup. We're like, see you when you get back, Lori. Somehow the magnitude of the event was lost on us. There was no fanfare. She came back, and it wasn't in the papers, it wasn't on TV, nothing. So 32 years later, I want to say congratulations, Lori, on winning the World Cup. Marcia and Lori were both trailblazers we looked up to. Their intensities and styles were different, but equally effective, and we were lucky to have had them. Jack, thank you for taking the chance on me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to play. I know I wasn't your typical recruit in that I didn't focus on soccer until college. It was a seasonal sport for me, a seasonal high school sport for me, but my favorite sport, nonetheless. I don't remember much about games or scores or stats, but what I do remember is how much you, Jack, seem to love the TV show Alf. I don't know where that came from. I remember how red you would get during your intense speeches or when you were mad at us. I remember your body posture while giving us pregame talks or post-practice debriefs. You'd stand there with talking, adorned in your blue suede sambas, and your hip was cocked, and your leg was straight and jittery, and you would take the one hand backside into the other hand, and then there was the dramatic pauses, of course. It was classic, Coach. I do remember the preseasons in 95-plus degree heat with high humidity and every muscle in my body aching literally down to my fingertips. I think the first preseason was the hardest because I was sick and I had mono, and we were all freshmen, so I think Jackie wanted to impress upon us what it took to be successful, what that required. Above all, I do remember, Jack, how you truly cared about all of us. You saw many of us through ups and downs that had nothing to do with soccer. You wanted us to be good people first and foremost. Thank you for being a coach I could trust and one who had my best interest at heart. Thank you to Leanne Poland. I didn't realize at the time the sacrifices Leanne was making. I do now. And it's never too late to recognize that Leanne was selfless and supportive. My teammates, the best in the world. We had a lot of fun together on and off the field. I feel like we grew together and grew up together. Well, some of us, maybe, right? A lot of time has passed, but I feel like we have a bond that time can't break. Some of my teammates are here tonight. Jill Adams-Grantham, the first person I've ever met coming to you. Well, we met on a recruiting trip. She's the master of the cutback move. She's still helping me to this day. Danielle was trying to get in touch with me about the logistics for this event, and I was nowhere to be found, I guess. So she called Jill, and then Jill gets on line with me and is like, Heather, will you just take care of this stuff, please? Thank you for being my personal assistant, Jill. Tracy Foles, my co-captain and roommate, who could do it all on the soccer field and was a trusted friend off. Lisa O'Brien, the expert of I'm going to fake the cutback move and push it the opposite direction. Megan Granada, the pull-back move wonder with a wicked left cross, who reminded me yesterday that she actually broke our trainer's jaw with her left foot, a little off target. Elizabeth Allwater, our heading specialist and babysitter bandit impersonator. Some other teammates who were there all 4 years but couldn't be here today are Rory Rushing, Laura Musselman, and always Slice, Lisa Lyston. You all opened the door for players and teams that came after you. You all were the trailblazers for UNCG's women's soccer program. You raised my level of play, and I wouldn't be standing here today if it weren't for all of you. You exemplified what a teammate should be. Thank you guys for making college and soccer fun and memorable. It wouldn't have been the same experience without you. Thank you all for this honor. I am humbled.
Good job. Come on, Dave. Let's do this. Yeah.
These speeches are incredible. All right, now please welcome inductees Lynsey McLean and her presenter, UNCG Hall of Famer Jack Poland.
I'm not entirely sure whose notes these are, but I might as well keep you here, because I don't have any. It's just that simple. And if the stopwatch was on Eddie, I got no problem. When we recruited Lynsey McLean, I have no idea how we found her. None. But I flew to England to watch her play. She played for a club team in Newcastle, actually. And what sealed the deal was in a pub following the match we saw, the girls, including Lynsey, were standing on the tables singing, "I wish they all could be California girls." God's honest truth. The thing that I most appreciated when I recruited, I searched for those who had heart, those who had passion when they played, those that there was a reason for which they came. Lynsey's career was kind of extended by 1 year with a broken leg when we were playing Notre Dame, Old Dominion, similar. When we were playing Old Dominion. And I am absolutely certain about one thing, though I don't know that I've ever been known for speed. I was the first one out on the field to see her. And it became apparent to me that part of the reason that she was such a great kid then, and I'm sure she's a great parent now, is I got to know her parents. And the whole idea of the nuts don't fall too far from the tree was pretty much how I saw an awful lot of people, with the possible exception of our leading goal scorer through history. But I won't give you the name because it embarrassed the heck out of her. But at any rate, the reality of the matter is, one of the things I absolutely demanded from them was passion. One of the things I absolutely look for in recruiting was heart. And those things aren't necessarily easy to see. I do believe that is... Lynsey was a freshman on that 97 team. And though I can't honestly stand here and say she was the most dynamic person on the field at the time, I know without question she was going to be, given time. And she was. So it is my great honor to introduce Lynsey McLean as the newest inductee of the women's soccer program to the UNCG Hall of Fame.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, oh, sorry, wrong gig, sorry. Right. Let me just take a breath, hang on. So, this speech, when I got the call to say that, or the email to say that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, obviously I was excited, followed by thinking, oh my God, I've got to do a speech, oh my God. Anyway, I should have done this speech months ago. I should have done it on the plane coming here. I should have done it Thursday when I landed. But this was written at 5 o'clock this morning, so I apologise. I do apologise if I'm looking at my notes. I haven't memorised it, obviously. But the funny thing is, this morning, when I messaged my wife to tell her that I was doing this speech, I'm going to play the message I got back. When I can find it.
I've just never known anyone wait till the last minute like this. Get more organised, Mummy Lynsey.
I mean, unfortunately, my wife's not here today. She normally does all the organising for me, so I apologise. I'm disorganised, but I take it. I know I am, anyway. So, thank you so much. This is a great moment for me and my teammates here with me today, and coaches and everyone involved in UNCG athletics. It's such an honour to be selected for the Hall of Fame. I'm chuffed and proud to have been such a part of a successful women's soccer programme. I'm getting nervous, sorry. As we all know, behind the scenes of every successful team or every successful individual, there's many people who work hard behind the scenes, keeping the wheels on and making sure that everything's running smoothly. So I've got quite a few people I want to thank. I'll try and get through it. I'll try and stay in 5 minutes. I don't think that'll be a problem, but we'll get through there. Right, so I'd like to start by thanking, first of all, the Hall of Fame Committee, UNCG Athletics, and the Spartan Club who have put this together, such a lovely weekend for all of us. I never thought for 1 minute that I'd be back here in the same place with all the people I played with all the familiar faces, people that I haven't seen for 20 to 25 years. It's absolutely amazing. So thank you for everyone who's came today and has been part of this. My writing's a bit bad there. Thank you for the selection alongside the 97 team and the other successful women's soccer players that have been inducted today. I'd like to say a special thank you to Daniel Sturridge for all the communication. She's been absolutely fantastic. Danielle, I think you can have next week off. You don't have to do any more emails, okay? I'd like to thank all the people behind the scenes, so the likes of Nelson Bob, the athletic director, was obviously a presence for us. Kathy Roberts, I was terrified of Kathy my freshman year, but I soon seen that underneath she's a softie. Everybody else involved, the athletic trainers, anybody really, there's just so many people to thank. I'd like to thank my parents. They sadly can't be here today just due to health issues. Throughout my career, from the start, they were always there. They came to all my games. They supported me. They didn't want me to come to the US, but they knew I wanted to do that, and they allowed me to do that, and they helped me to get here. I remember my dad. My dad was so committed to my soccer career. I remember him on a Sunday morning at 5:30 every Sunday, driving me around my paper round so that I could get to the 7 o'clock meet to go play soccer for Newcastle. So thanks to my dad for his commitment there. My mum was still in bed, but that's all right. I was brought up in a soccer family. We all supported Glasgow Celtic, so I got to watch them from a young age, and that's where my love for soccer started. I didn't start playing till I was about 9. There was no opportunity in England, Scotland back then for women's soccer, so we made a football team when I got to high school, and from there played for Newcastle, which is where Jack obviously found me. So I'd like to thank my teammates as well. Sorry, without my teammates, this programme wouldn't have had the success it's had. It would have been a completely different experience here at UNCG. And they're all amazing women, and they're all strong, and they were great teammates. Many of them still friends today. So can I have a round of applause for my teammates, please? Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank my guests today, Kathy Klepper, Mark Klepper, and the late Jim Klepper, who's unfortunately not with us today. These guys were my American family. Being a foreigner, it was difficult coming away from my own family, but these guys stepped up. They were my American family, my American mum, my brother, and obviously my dad. So thank you for everything you did for me when I was here. It meant so much to me. I didn't realize I'd written so much. Sorry, guys. Thanks to all the coaches that were here when I was here. So Diane, Susie, quit your bitch in Parsons, Eddie, White Lightning, Radwanski. Eddie, I did not like when you played in training. You used to nutmeg me and make me look silly, but thank you for all your wisdom. And then, obviously, a massive thank you to Coach Poland. Without Jack, quite simply, I would not have been here. He really was and is something simply special. I actually can't remember the details of how Jack recruited me, to be honest, but all I know is that when I met Jack and when I first spoke to Jack, he was a character. He's genuine. I felt good vibes. He made me laugh. He was charismatic, motivational, and trustworthy. And he loved UNCG. He loved his team, his players, and he loved the program. And he sold UNCG to me. I didn't get the luxury of a recruiting trip. All I got was a couple of pictures and obviously Jack. And Jack did a great job. And here I came in '97, my first night in the US. Jack picked me up from the airport to stay at his house, and I was woken up with two strange kids jumping on my bed in the morning. Welcome to America, Lynsey. And I'm like, who are these guys? Jack has been there for me throughout my career at UNCG, and he's more to me than a coach. He's a friend, a father figure, and I love him very much. From the bottom of my heart, Jack, thank you for bringing me to UNCG, for recruiting all my teammates, for being a strong leader, for always fighting our corner, and for looking after us, for bringing us success, but most of all, for loving us. I know I speak on behalf of all my teammates when I say that you are UNCG for us, and we love you. I may have missed a page, so I apologize if I've missed anything else out, but I'm going to wrap it up now because I think I am over my 5 minutes. So I guess the only way I can wrap it up is by saying, if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
There we go. Hey, Jack, you want to come up? We'll put you in the middle. Let me hold your, put those down. Hold it.
If we needed another reason to like the Spice Girls anymore. It's amazing. Please welcome our inductee, Joyce Scott, and Hall of Famer, Jack Poland again.
A whole lot about football in America, but isn't that the Michigan fight song? That tells you how much I don't know about American football. Before I get started with talking about joy, I do want to take a second to just say to Chris Ducar and Diane Drake, who I think are my only two assistants that are here, you guys are the best. You are the best of the best, and we weren't the #1 program in the nation. Of course, Chris left to go there, but that's another story. But what you instilled in our girls is why we're here today, because there was a part of each and every one of them that obviously was a part of me, but it was also a part of you. And I just do want to thank you very much. On to Joyce Scott. As you noticed in my first deliberation, I'm not one who wants to talk about all the statistics that you could read about in your program. The things I want to talk about are the intangibles. What else is there? But I'm going to give you one example of Joyce Scott that I think, to a large degree, if not completely, really says it all. One of the things I enjoyed about this profession was developing good camaraderie with other coaches. The James Madison coach was a very good friend of mine. And believe me when I tell you, we had great, great competition. This is how he described Joyce Scott. I'm going to turn this way and face her, that way she knows I'm not cheating on it. He said to me, Joyce Scott is the kind of defender that makes you want to use the other side of the field. As a defender, she had the green light to go forward anytime she wanted, because if she was wrong, she had enough speed to catch whoever was behind her. And one thing that is incredible at one degree or another, we obviously would run sprints now and again. We obviously had fitness details that we need to cover. Joy Scott never ran with the team. She was always a yard, maybe 2, maybe 3, and her senior year she started every sprint we had 5 yards behind the rest of the team and never lost. Now that's a stat you're not going to find in your program. But as I said earlier, one of the things that I look for with people is heart, is passion, is the ability to, regardless of how they express it sometimes, know that whatever passion I felt was mirrored in the athlete that I was coaching. Her senior year, we played Kentucky in the first game of the year. And though I will not use the explicatives, we were walking off the field after losing 2-1. And I don't know that she knows that I heard her, but her comment was, and I quote, I'll leave part of it out, but I quote, "We're not losing like that again this season." And we didn't. And that was because of Joy's leadership. You remember, you knew that I heard that, didn't you? It was a statement of her passion that was infectious on the rest of the team. Now keep in mind, this is the 96 team. And we'll get into all the accolades for 96, 97 in a minute, because I get to do that too. Joy was among the best, if not the best athlete, pure athlete I ever recruited. And one of the things I learned very quickly in this profession was you need to have different people. Different by personality, different by skill sets. But Joy had the one thing, other than raw speed, that I needed. And that was her passion for playing. Her intensity was infectious. And I think most of the 96 team will agree with that. So it is my honor to introduce Joy Scott.
Oh, I don't know if it's good or bad going last. I love the Spice Girls. That was perfect, Lynsey. So I guess I'll preface by saying I don't have a whole lot of names in my speech here. So I want to say thanks to everyone, Nelson, Jack, Kathy. I don't want to leave anyone out. And thank you, Jack. I didn't know where you were going with the story. I've heard a few. Allie, we've heard them all, right? And yes, a lot of them we can't repeat here. So we'll leave it at that. So yes, thank you, Jack. Let's see. I don't know where to start. So when I came to UNCG, 1993, we were trying to figure this out. I think I was the only senior, maybe 2 or 3, but they didn't leave with me, so we lost track of who actually was with me. Ryla was there through the years, it seems, before and after. So I do remember coming on in the upperclassmen. I'll go ahead and point out Susie. Everyone knows Susie. She was so nice to all of us. See, that's it, Susie. You thought I was going to say something else. But no, the upperclassmen were great. So I do want to take this time to tell you guys how it all started, I guess, really. And that's with my mom and dad, who are at this table. Raise your hand so they know who you are. So back then, I have 2 brothers. Kendrick is here, Kevin is in Atlanta. And we all played travel soccer. I don't know how we did it. I don't know how they did it in the 70s, having me and my brothers play. But what we did, or what my dad did, he was the mastermind of it all. He bought a camper, and we would travel to these tournaments and stay in the parking lot to save costs from hotels. And they did that for all of our tournaments, literally stayed in the parking lot in the camper, and I don't know how we showered and all that, but that's what we did. And there was also a time then when my brothers were playing, one got cut, I won't say who, but my dad created a team back then just to have his kids shine. I believe it was the Raleigh Rowdies, I'm not sure. But this was 70s. So they made a lot of sacrifices. So thank you, Mom and Dad. If you all didn't do that, we obviously would not be here. I'm talking about me and my brothers. My brother went to play NC State. He played professionally after that. And obviously, I came to UNCG. So again, we overcame a lot of adversity back then. And that was part of the reason you would start the team as well. So everything worked out in the end. So let me find where I am on my thing here. I'm not on track. Hang on one second. Okay. So I still do play. Jack talked about my passion. It's hard not to play, even though we're almost 50. One good knee, one bad knee, both have ACL damage, but I still play. Still very much a passion of mine. I'll go out and play with teenagers, and they always say, "Is that your mom?" And I'm like, "No, I'm no one's mom. I'm just here to play too." And they eventually pass the ball to me, and of course I have to introduce myself by doing a slide tackle or two. And I think that's, my teammates will probably say, I mean, anytime I see them, they're like, "Oh, you're slide tackles. And all that. Yeah, I played, my game was on the ground. It really was. I had no air game whatsoever. I don't know how I made it as far as I did. No left foot, no air game, but I played on the ground quite a bit. So yes. So when I came here, it was the best decision that I made. I don't know if it was Jack's sales tactics or, the nice green grass. Kathy, you're awesome. I don't care what they say about you, you're the best. And Nelson, I don't know if it was his warm welcome, but I ended up coming to UNCG. I did finish in 4 years, thank God, with a BS in business. So mission accomplished as far as I was concerned. So over the years, we saw everyone last night, and, on our Facebook, we're talking about stories and stuff. I can't tell you anything that happened back then, but I know who can. I can't find her now. Dana, where are you? Oh, yeah. So Dana can tell you who scored in the last 5 seconds of the game with the wind coming from the east and 63 degrees. We're at Liberty, and this is what the shoes you're wearing. Like, she can tell everything. I wish I had that type of memory. I don't. So thanks, Dana, for all the stories you're sharing, because it helps all of us. So along with that, let me see, find my place again. I just want to thank my teammates. And like I said, I came here in 93, left 97. Ryla, I was here with you forever, it seems. And then, of course, some of the 90, I guess you guys are considered 95 team, are here. Penny, hi, you guys. So a lot of good memories. We had a lot of chemistry. We ate a lot of pasta together. We ran a lot of hills. We did the Cooper, the infamous Cooper. Oh, my gosh. Study hall, bus trips, wins, the losses. Everything was well worth it. We battled every game. So, in wrapping up, thank you, Jack, for recruiting me. Thank you to everyone else that I might not have mentioned. This program is awesome, as you guys know. And I thank my teammates, and only one of my kids are here today. The other one is at a baseball game. But we tell our kids and our loved ones, right, how awesome we once were, but now maybe they'll believe us, so.
Come on, Joy. See the pic? I'll let you hold that. Come on, Jack.
Let's hear it one more time for all the individual inductees. And it is now time to present the two women's soccer teams. Jack is going to be presenting both of those teams. And speaking on behalf of the teams are Kim Rosenberg and Dana Chapman. Jack's going to talk about both of the teams. Then we will hear from Kim and Dana. Once they are done, we will then individually recognize the 96 team. I'm going to call up your names, then the 97 team as well. And we're going to take some pictures up here.
One of the things that was rather comical when I got called up, actually it happened again last week, when Mike says, "Oh, you've got about 3 to 4 minutes." Not. Well, we're going to try, but I don't know how you limit yourself to people. Last night was amazing on one very, very important reason. Not only was I running into people that A, I recognized, and B, they recognized me, but watching them recognize and see each other. And it was amazing to see Petra flies in from California, Lynsey flies in from Newcastle? Manchester, okay. Kati flies in from Helsinki, brings her daughter with her. And I think that was part of understanding what's so damn terrific about what has happened over the last 26 years. And most of it only lasted 4 years for you, but it's been 26 for me. Now, I'm going to interrupt the whole thing right now and do something you guys weren't expecting. Go figure. I would very much like Megan Guarnata, Jill Adams, Tracy Foles, Obi, and Heather Duryea to stand up. No. That first class, we recruited 23 freshmen. 8 made it to be seniors. 5 of them are standing in front of you. And if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here. They started it all. They were the foundation. They didn't know what they were getting into. Now you can sit down. But I couldn't be more proud of you, and I'm finally glad that Heather's parents finally figured out my name. All right, what do you say about 30 young women? Without getting into a whole lot of some fun, some not so stories, I am going to do a couple. And I think I've beaten this horse to death a little bit. These young women have become quality members of society. And if you don't believe that, take a look at their kids. Several of them brought kids with them. Not all, but several did. They're just good people. And to be honest with you, that's what I wanted. I also wanted to win. So we got Chris and Diane to help out. We had one other that was a major significant assistant, and I don't know that he knew that at the time. But I think we all owe Mark Schumacher a round of applause. He may or may not have been our biggest fan, but he was certainly the loudest. And I think he honored that and he enjoyed that very much. Two of the people that I recruited two of the people that I recruited that were on both the 96 and the 97 team, which a lot of you that are here were two kids out of North Carolina. And at that time, I was the state team coach. And we had our first day of practice, and Dana and Kelly were out there. And they started a warm-up where I want them to, if you change directions with the ball, I want you to change speed. And it just wasn't quite what I wanted. So in usual Jack Boland fashion, wait a second, I'm going to show you what I want. I got out there, and as soon as I turned, my shoelaces and my copas got stuck inside the laces, and I fell flat on my face. I thought of Eddie at the time. He never would have done that, but that's all right. I did. That was kind of my career, too. But there was a little bit of snickering going on. I said, holy cow, guys, if you can't laugh at that, geez, we got to get going here. There was a lot of things that happened. Let me make one reference back to the 97 team. We finished in the top 25 of the nation in 96. So we started the 97 season with a lot of high expectations. And with the 70th minute, 71st minute maybe, we're down 3-0 to Wofford. Wofford was also new that year. And we had a player who's going to talk here in a few minutes, who, again, I won't use the explicatives that were used at the moment. Give me the ball, we're not losing this game. "20 minutes left to play, we won 4-3. And she's going to be speaking here. We get to the conference championship, and both of us were in the game. Kerry Kurt has a hat trick in the second half. We won 9-0. So we're as good as UNCG. Overrated? Yeah, we'll show you. We'll show you what overrated is. But it's hard for me to completely capsulize what you guys have meant to me over the years. Of course, Katie Bullington has sold my beach house, and he was a realtor when we bought our retirement home. So we've seen a little bit more of her than the rest of you. But it's just amazing to see how you've matured into people of honor and integrity. I don't think there's many people in the room that are any more intense than Danica. And I think there's a good part of that that each of us picked up, because I believe it's contagious as hell. It's just amazing what we do when we feed off each other. And that was the theory in 96, and that was the theory in 97. And I couldn't be prouder of you or of what we accomplished. Susie's sitting back there. She was part of it. She wound up being assistant coach. It's just bees back there. He was our manager. It's just so much has happened to build us from these 5 to the rest of you. And Shannon, wherever you are, make no mistake, you wouldn't have come here if there wasn't a history behind it. And Eddie carried that torch with extreme skill and as quality as anybody could be. But to you guys, I will say this. I was proud of you then, and that's nothing compared to how proud I am of you now.
And we'd like to welcome Kim and Dana to the stage to make remarks on behalf of the 96-97 teams.
We're in the home stretch here. When they were determining who was going to speak for the team, they picked the 2 shortest. So we're it. Smartest, yeah, shortest, smartest. Every day is a good day to be a Spartan, and today is an especially great day for women's soccer. On behalf of the 96 and 97 teams, we would like to extend our gratitude to those crucial to our success. Like Lynsey and everybody said, it takes a village. First and foremost, thanks be to God for allowing us to be here today. Glad you're here. Thank you to our parents and our families. We appreciate your commitment and sacrifice to cart us all over the country playing soccer every weekend so that we could chase Division I top 20 dreams. It paid off. To our loyal Blue Crew fans in Greensboro community, this is a soccer city. You filled stadiums, buses, you showed up, you showed out, and your unwavering support and encouragement energized us. Special thanks to two super fans, Mark Shoemaker and Tom Martin. You're forever part of our family. Mark, they call you a librarian, but I think you're a professional heckler. There were some of yours where I was on the field and I was like, that's a good one. Yeah, get him. Tom couldn't be here, but he rode the bus and went everywhere with us, and he's such a special part of our team. Thank you to our athletic directors, our athletic trainers, equipment room, and facilities personnel. You kept us healthy, equipped, locker rooms, and fields amazing. You met us at 5 a.m. for treatments before class, and at 1 a.m., returning back to campus off the bus. Special thanks to Kathy Roberts. We love you. We cannot possibly thank you enough for what all you did for us. Thank you so much. To our coaches, we owe you a huge thank you, and our manager, Jack, Diane, Big Bird, and Brian. I think you've heard today through some speeches, they're a class act. Like, we've truly, truly had the best of the best, top notch. We were really, really blessed and fortunate to have them as ours. There are no words that we could possibly convey how much you mean to us. I wasn't going to cry today. They coached with love, fairness, consistency, and integrity. They poured into us, they pulled everything out of us, and they helped us reach our full potential, not just as athletes, but as students and people. They gave us a safe place to grow, and they had the winning recipe for success. And we are forever grateful to all of them. Thank you to our athletic director, chancellor, and university, Nelson Bob. You're probably the most involved athletic director in all of college. You knew us each personally, always had time for a quick chat, handshake, pat on the back, and encouraging words. You still do. We appreciate the administration and university for being a soccer school. This is a soccer school. You believed in us, and more importantly, you invested in us. And we got to play on the best field in all of college soccer. There's no greater rush than putting on the Spartan armor and walking through the gates onto that field and repping the blue and gold. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee, Spartan Athletic Club, and Danielle for selecting us and making this the most memorable weekend. We had so much fun last night. We didn't sleep very much. And lastly, thank you to our teammates. This is the most incredible, inspiring group of women that I know. They're driven, smart, talented, and successful. Going into the 96 season, we had graduated 8 starters. It was slated to be a year of struggle and rebuilding, but not with this group. We collectively decided to flip the script, work harder, and we were determined to leave our mark. Together we did that, and as a result, we're here celebrating today. Congrats, ladies.
Well said, and I echo the thank yous to everybody that's been a part of it for us and our growth and the ladies that paved the way for us. It's been great meeting you the past 24 hours, but hopefully more time today. So I'm very honored and humbled to be standing here on behalf of this amazing, beautiful, incredible, talented group of women and men. It's been a journey. It's about time, right? It's about time that we got here, right? So, the most successful, obviously, women's soccer team to ever play here. So it is about time and very well deserved. It's funny, last night was amazing, by the way. It was just so great. And when you were talking, Jack, I was just sitting back there, just like the hugs and the kisses. It was like, everybody says, the best friends are the ones that you cannot see for 20, 25 years and you don't skip a beat. That's everybody on this team. It really is. And I am so grateful to have been a part of it. And it started with you. And my gosh, actually it started with Brandy and Bettina, to be honest. I was at UNC camp. I fractured my back, which I did not know. And all I heard was, "Will you effing run?" from Bettina. And I was like, I can't. I don't know why I still came to school here, because she was the coach. But thank God Diane came in. What a relief. It was amazing. And I've had the honor to work with Diane after college as well as one of her assistants, but what a breath of fresh air, and really just added to the culture that we built as a team. And I really think that is what made us so successful, to be honest, is we came in as 9 freshmen, from day one, right? I mean, you came in with your own sorority. It was great, right? You didn't have to do anything. By the way, this morning was like breakfast club. It was really early, so the sun wasn't up. Yeah, so got to share that with, we'll have to change that next year. Yeah, but this team had the heart, the drive, the passion, the will to always play for one another. And I think, Jack, to be honest, you were a dad, a coach, a friend, colleague to some. You changed all of our lives. We're the people that we are today because of you. And he shared with me last night, actually, and we had a lot of great successes, but the Clemson game was not our best success. I think we were still hungover from the game the week before when we beat Duke, right? So, which was one of the best games that I've ever played in my entire life with these group of women. And Bill Hempton came up to me after the game, and I'm still sitting on the ground because I couldn't get up 120 minutes. And he said, "If you play like this, you guys can win the national championship." And I think we were so high on, we went to Clemson, it didn't end so well. But at the end of the Clemson game, Jack shared with me last night that my dad came up to him, tears rolling down his face, and said, "Thank you for being more than a coach to my daughter." And I have the goosebumps. And when you shared that with me last night, I never knew that, right? And it's so true. We are the women that we are here today, the moms that we are, that you ladies are, bringing your kids here. I'm like, oh my God, you're grown up, but we still had fun. It's crazy, right? I mean, 4 kids, we had to adapt. We had adversity that we had to overcome. I mean, there was a lot that happened in those 4 years, personally, professionally, to, all of us. And Diane said to me the other day, she's like, wow. She's like, all of you guys are so successful. And I think it started with the responsibility, showing up for one another, being a teammate. What does that look like, right? I mean, we were not in it for ourselves. It was all about everybody else. What can we do better? How can we be better? How much more can we run? How much, it was like there was a never quit attitude. And I think that built the culture that really made this team who we were, right? I mean, these are my best friends. I mean, I feel like I have sisters, 20 sisters. It's a pretty proud moment for all of us, and we should be very, very proud, but it started with you. And wasn't always pretty. I mean, there was some spit coming out, there was red face, there was a lot of explicit words that, a lot, actually, a lot. A few cards. I mean, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because we all say that too. So, and we all had something to say back. Every time coach was like, "Oh, why do you?" We were all like, "No, because I wanted to play the ball here, and I saw this and did." I mean, Dana was the queen of that. I've got to say, she always had a response to him. But it was truly a talent. You know, the talented. We had Kati and Ali. My God, the leading goal scorers in the country. I mean, this team was built around the love of the game, the passion for the game, and God, it's changed so much now, right? I mean, God, we have phones, like, it's crazy, you know, and I mean, Dana's like, "Oh, I printed mine off." I'm like, "I couldn't find a printer," so, you know, and I can't stand up here talking about these amazing women and just, there's so many memories, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I don't remember what I did last night half the time, but I do remember my freshman initiation song, so, I mean, and thank you, God. Dana, you're a steel trap. I don't know, like, how you remember that stuff. Maybe because you're short, you didn't have the ball a lot. I'm not sure. But Danica probably doesn't remember a ton. But we all brought something to the table. And I think we were all leaders. You know, we all wanted to be better players. We all wanted to work hard. We all wanted to win, right? And when we didn't, we were pissed. You know, I mean, where can we go from here? What was the next step? You know, and it's for us. I actually just recently saw Peyton Manning speak, and he said this quote that actually really resonates with all of us. And it's, the most valuable player is the one that makes the most players valuable. And I think we were all of that, and that's what made us the team that we are today. So, and the players and the amazing women. And I got to tell you, we got to do this more often, because 25 years is way too long to not see your incredible faces. So thank you to everybody. There are a lot of memories that we could share. Mosquitoes in Charleston, where it was 900 degrees. I swear to God, it was so hot. We had our socks pulled over our sweats. Like, Diane went and got 5 bottles of bug spray. Who built this field on marsh? Like, that's dumbest idea ever. Walker Street parties, the Clemson game. The Clemson game was great. It was actually my 21st birthday, and I'm an identical twin. So we played Saturday. It was the 17th. 18th is my birthday, 17th and 19th. We played Clemson on the 19th, and we won 2. No, we lost 2. And then we won 2-1, right. And then we lost 2 weeks later. We lost to Duke, and then we went to Duke and beat them, right? So a lot of sacrifices. I couldn't drink on my 21st birthday. It was really bad. But everybody's favorite, Clarence. Like, I don't even know how you came up with that, but yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. That one stuck for sure. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're a father figure to me, to everybody here, and I've heard it more and more, like, from the younger. I'm like, younger. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know I couldn't get it right. I was confused. Yeah, I know. I was trying to be nice. I'm just kidding. We're all young, right? We're all young. Well, we partied like we were young. But you are a mentor, a friend, a father, a great coach, and somebody that will always be a part of our lives, and we are who we are today because of you. And so thank you. Love you.
Amazing trip down memory lane. Okay, let's recognize these teams. So we're going to start with the 1996 team. I'm going to call each individual player, coach, as well as some of the folks that are not able to be here. And what I'm going to ask you to do is when I say your name, please come on up to the stage. And when we're finished with the 96 team, I'm going to step aside and we're going to take a picture. And then we're going to do the same for the 97 team. No, please stay. Please stay. Okay. Danica Baker, Heather Bernard, Katie Bullington, Shannon Carey, Carrie Currett, Harmony Johnson, Kati Kottinen, Liz Lee, Allie Lord, Ryla Mason-Lottie, Kelly Maris, Christy Munchell, Kim Rosenberg, Joy Scott, and Dana Tilley. And we'd also like to recognize the coaching staff, Chris Duker, Diane Drake, and of course, Jack Poland, as well as the players not able to be here, Stephanie Dearlove, Paula Dimitroviz, and Lynn Pantaosco. And I'm going to step off the stage so we can take this picture. I'm going to read each of the names, even those that are on the 96 and 97 team, because you need to know that they were on both teams, and we'd love to recognize them. Danica Baker, Christy Bell, Heather Bernard, Katie Bullington, Shannon Carey, Carrie Currett, Patrick Lavin, Kati Kottinen, Liz Lee, Allie Lord, Ryla Mason-Lottie, Lynsey McLean, Kelly Maris, Jenny Moore, Christy Munchel, Kim Rosenberg, Dana Tilley, coached by Chris Duker, Diane Drake, and Jack Poland. And unable to be here, Paula Dimitrovitz, and assistant coach Rob Drake. Congratulations, everyone. Am I on? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have one more round of applause for these outstanding classes and this year's Hall of Fame class. We've got to give some thank yous. Oh, that was nice. It's like we're back on the field. We need to thank Danielle Sandridge, the events manager for the athletics office. As you've heard, she's done an incredible job. Mike Roach, as always, doing an incredible job as well, helping to plan this and put everything together for the weekend. We also want to thank the members of the Hall of Fame committee for your work. That's the work being done behind the scenes. So let's give them a round of applause. Now, we have just a few quick housekeeping announcements to make before we wrap up. It's hard to believe, but already we are planning for the next induction class. So if you have anyone that you would like to nominate, you can find the nomination form online. It is at uncgspartans.com. Once you get there, you just click on Inside G and then Athletics Hall of Fame. And that is underway very soon. Nominations for the next class are coming up by January 31st of next year. That's the deadline. So go ahead and get your brain thinking about who you'd like to nominate, and you can go online and do that. As soon as we are done as well, if any of the inductees would like to get a picture, we know that's really important, please go to the back of the room. Carlos is going to be there to snap some photos. And also a big thanks to Carlos for always being here and taking such fabulous pictures of all of us as well. And I'm happy to say that this concludes the formal portion of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I want to thank each of you for coming from near and far today, you being here and offering the smiles and the support back then and even today means so much. And for being active with this university and with the athletics department. It's easy to get caught up in our day-to-day lives, but being here to show support from afar or in person, continuing to go to games is really important when you're in town. So thank you so much for that, for helping to make today such a special event. Happy homecoming weekend. Enjoy the festivities, enjoy each other, travel safe, and go Spartans.